Well, Jared, it's happened again. I've
We're
lost an
really
hour and
good.
I've lost my mind.
Again, for the second year running, it has been 157, 158, 159, and then three, and everyone breaks the fuck out.
I don't know what happened to you, but in the Uber, I was out and about celebrating grand final day. Looked at the clock, it was 1:58. I was like, killer, still plenty of time in the night, no worries. Rocked up to the joint, it was 3:02. And I thought the Uber had driven me around for an hour and 4 minutes.
Or you just napped and back.
I either napped for a period of time and he took me to some benchmark and back, or hello, Dallas Savings.
What happened? I know, I'm actually a fan of daylight savings, except for when it's the night of. Every other time, like all the rest of it, I like. It's the night of though, I hate it because it's like it freaks me out that it goes to 159 and then three, and all of a sudden, every plan that you had for the entire night is out the window, and you're like, oh shit,
Does
oh
it
no.
concern you that actually, no, that's a shit point because I was going to say we lose an hour, but then I realized there's another part of daylight savings that happens in about 6 months' time when we gain that hour back. So it's kind of
Yeah,
like what
you
it
get
is
it all back,
nothing.
so it's fine. So it doesn't matter in the end. I This one's the one that's bad though, because you lose the hour and then you lose all your sleep. And that was my case. I was like, yeah, I can, 8 hours sleep. This will be sick. And then no,
No, I sort of
no.
lost an hour of my life and stayed out an extra hour more than I should have. Anyway, Collingwood won.
That's what we talk about in this podcast.
Apparently, it's an AFL podcast.
News to me.
News to us. Normally, we just talk about our drinking shenanigans and how hot men are. I've lost him. I've lost him already.
Oh,
Should we smash something and just get this shit on the road?
let's smash the glass.
That's the play of the game. That is the play of the game. Time!
From the impossible angle, and he puts it through, and Portly.
Danger, 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 danger. Butler! Butler, Butler, Butler!
Get around him! Get around him! Edge of the seat.
Jared, episode 30, grand final. We're done. Collingwood are premiers, 4 points, greatest grand final in, I reckon, 5 years.
To the last time Collingwood were grand final. Absolutely.
Correct.
Easily, yeah. Definitely one of the best ones that we've had in a long time. Um Fucking what a day. And what a day, like everywhere. 27 degrees in Melbourne or whatever it was, 30 in Adelaide. Like it was just the perfect grand final day ever. Like, and then the game lived up to the hype. It was just perfect. How good's football?
We'll get into the game in a minute, but the game literally was not separated by more than like 14 points the whole day,
Unbelievable.
either side.
It's a very Collingwood game, which was exactly what I was after. Like just close and just seesawing and
Just, we got the two best teams, and they played a great game, like two best teams should. Like it's good to come full circle from round one to now, and we get a perfect grand final. Well,
yeah,
it's actually almost perfect.
there was a few little things.
I'm Collingwood won it. That's my point, really.
I like perfect grand final. Both teams played really well. Not necessarily players on both teams. There's a few that we'll get to, I'm sure, that are very happy with themselves this morning. But
I don't. A lot's gonna have to hold me back. I'm not gonna lie. There's things that just anyway. The sprint happened.
yeah, the
Um,
sprint.
talk about your day, grand final day. I think it's we were very excited during the week. We were talking about how positive the day is going to be and how exciting it was. Can I ask specifically what time the first beer was cracked open?
If I can give you a specific,
To the
it would have
second.
been it would have been 3:11 a.m. So that's a good start. I
Yeah,
had
nice.
woken up pretty much as soon as I woke up was like kid on Christmas. So I was like, oh man, here we go. I went and drove around, did a few like errands and stuff, picked up some newspapers, the sweep and whatever. And then yeah, got to my sister's house and was like, right, we're back in. And then had one probably pre 11 a.m. and then jumped straight in the pool. And it was gorgeous. What about you? When was your first beverage?
It was a little bit late, 12:15, I think it was, roughly around then. But one became about 65 by about half time. It was very quick.
Oh yeah.
We had a similar thing with the sweep. Like, it was a whole big group of us, but we like had footy cards, and if we had that
Oh yeah.
player, there was a set of rules that we had to follow. Very grateful I had Eric Kipwood. Like, if you wanted to be sober, you pick Eric Kipwood.
Think Eric Hipwood. He
So I
didn't.
had to force myself to drink the cordials because he was doing nothing. I
He
can't believe
didn't
that
touch the
guy's got a
ball.
footy card.
Oh, he didn't touch the ball.
Yeah, but otherwise, it was a great day. As you said, sunny, beers flowing, entertainment, and we got blessed with one of the greats.
Absolutely. That was okay. I'll admit I was skeptical about the grand final entertainment that was on offer. Not that I'm not a Kiss fan. Not that I'm not a Kiss fan, but I'm not huge on them. I think they're fine. And I was just a bit like, oh, this could go wrong. But credit to them, pretty fucking good.
Oh, all
Pretty
right.
good.
I'm gonna make this mine because generally I was the same. I was like, well, really, are we gonna have a bunch of 7-year-olds on a stage dancing around? We're not even dancing. Like, are they gonna be in wheelchairs or walking sticks as their guitars? I don't know. But just as soon as they started, like with the choirs on top of the ground and
Mm.
just the black and white face painting, Kiss is the best grand final entertainment we've ever had. I think
Whoa.
that is my.
Okay.
I think the way, and this is why they are 70 years old. They are my mum's favorite band. This is not our generation. This is mum's
No, yeah,
generation.
this is
You're
previous gen.
21. I'm 42. Like, this is you know, this is not our bracket. No one, like you said, like, I'm not big on them. No one our age is.
No.
For them to rock up in their face paint, 70 years of age, with their guitars, armor on, dressed up like they always do and what they've been doing for the last 30 years, for them to do that, have kids dancing in the shape of the Kiss sign and everything like that, pointing out to the Magpie Army and the Lions fans, and you just get the camera shots there as kids, 5, 10, 15 years old, dancing, singing along.
Yeah.
Like, that was, for me, you didn't see that. I mean, Robbie Williams was great last year, and it's good to finally follow it up with the entertainment to equal or better that.
Yep.
But you're not seeing that with Robbie Williams. You're not seeing that with Tones and I. You're not seeing that bring a whole group of people from different ages, from 5 to 60,
Yeah.
and having one of the best entertainments. They put 3 songs on, and they were just, tongues out, mate. I was there on the couch, 2 beers deep.
Just
I'll
loving it.
rock and roll
Yeah.
all night, boys.
Yeah, no, like I agree in terms of like there might have been better like just performers before, sure. But in terms of the whole scale of everything, the entertainment and what they brought, like making it like a Super Bowl show where, they've got like just they go all out kind of thing. Having that many people in the big, the big flash mob and stuff, unreal. Made it feel massive, made the event feel bigger than it is, and it's already the biggest, like one of the biggest events in Australia. And the fact that it made it even bigger than that, fucking fair effort. I'll admit I was wrong. I was wrong about them. So good on.
When you've got a room of 15, 25 plus year olds like I was with, and the volume on the TV is 100, the sound bar is on, and you're just there, you know? Like, it got us to the point that we posted actual filters of us, which in hindsight, not great. But that was probably better than the fact the bloke that I saw on the TV dressed in full Kiss attire was literally there just for Kiss. I
How
swear, final ticket
funny was
just.
that?
Oh, I
That
love.
was so funny. I only pans across him and I'm like, he is just wearing a Kiss. He is there exclusively
Yeah.
for Kiss. Like, didn't give a shit about anything else. This is a Kiss concert to him. Even if it's 3 songs, it's fine. He will be there.
What a choice of songs. Like, I know I don't know many of them. And one of my mates said to me yesterday, was like who are Kiss or like what songs are theirs? And someone said like You probably won't know who Kiss are, but as soon as you hear one of their songs, you'll know it's Kiss.
That is a good example. Like you hear a song, you're like, oh shit, I know this one, and then you like they play
Yeah.
another one, you're like, oh shit, I know that one too, and then it just like keeps just going.
I
Very good.
was made for loving you, baby. You were made for
Oh, I can't do that. Go ahead next.
Jeez, calm down.
So that worked better when I used to have long hair because then I could really like could really go.
Stupid is sexy.
But
Anyway,
yes, this week was been very good. Yesterday was a very good day altogether. But of course, it wasn't just the grand final this week. We had the night of nights, Monday night, and
oh yeah, we're gonna go through the Brownlow medal.
it was yeah, it was certainly a certainly a Brownlow count.
It was, wasn't it?
Certainly was a Brownlow count.
It was
That has
almost got
happened
to the
before.
point where the last 4 rounds, no one wanted to win it.
Sorry, they were actively avoiding trying to win this thing.
Correct. Like, and what won it for Lockie Neal, which congratulations, had a good season. Wouldn't say Brownlow season, but credit
We did have
to
we spoke about him earlier in the year about how good he was, kind of thing. So
yeah, like we won't. It's not talking his season down, but when you get 3 votes for having 20 touches and 13 of them were handballs, that's kind of like an Alessiani type game, playing half forward.
yeah, just like there was a few of those too. It's the Neil one is so big and so controversial because he obviously ended up winning the thing. But there was so many where like the Horde Francis one, where like you're like, really like you done that, and they just pull him out of nowhere. Joel Amadi got 3 and he got subbed off at halftime. Andrew Phillips got 3 earlier in the year. I don't even remember what game he played.
Gather round. He got it in gather round.
What the fuck was that? We were at that game and I still don't remember him playing well.
I didn't think he was. Like,
To
that
be
was
fair,
not.
to be
That
fair,
was,
we were probably pretty blind by that point, rolling into the Port game afterwards.
I'm not going to lie. They all look like Andrew Phillips to me. Just 22 beanstalks. Blonde beanstalks.
On
Actually, to be
beanstalks,
fair,
but
it was wet that day. How's a ruckman getting 3? Nah, I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to bother.
that's fine.
They've
You know
got a
what?
disease.
The Gumby disease, as we have so eloquently called it. Really
Full
weird
spectrum
though.
ruckman.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was a good count. Like the end, like the actual count itself, I thought was really good in terms of like the atmosphere and the how good it was towards the end and how many people could have won it. Like in Errol Goulden's fly home, like Bakos base, like being very close to still winning the whole thing. It was yeah, unreal.
The way people reacted to this Brownlow, I think, was the telling point, because a lot of people will say like a clear favourite will win it, or someone that was second or third favourite wins it, and no one bats an eyelid really. This is different because Lockie Neal's become a dual Brownlow medalist, and people are comparing a dual Brownlow medalist to Matt Priddis.
Yeah, see, that's where I'm like, people are very upset about Neil winning it, and like I get it, I do. Like I think he would have been 5th in line for me, kind of thing. But he's still very good. He is still head and shoulders above Matt Priddis. Obviously, it's because he's done that thing where he didn't make the All-Australian team and he won a Brownlow. And I don't think he'll win their club BNF either. I think maybe Joe Danaher or Charlie Cameron or something like that will win it. But he's sort of in that bracket. But you also need to remember that he still had a ridiculously good season. And just because Font didn't win it, or Dacos or whatever, doesn't mean that he was like the worst. Like he was still very good.
I love how people said Dacos was robbed. Like, no, like
no, he just got injured.
If you kept your bones intact, you might have taken it home.
If he literally played one more game, he would have won the whole thing. So it's like he wasn't robbed. It's injury. Like that's all it was. But hey, is what it is.
A couple of things I learned, and I don't know if you learned anything. I suppose we'll know when I get to let you talk. Couple of things I learned from the Brownlow would be, one, no matter what, Jason Horne-Francis is pretty much guaranteed to win one in the future, because that man got votes in games I didn't expect. He's an impact player, but like, obviously we mentioned the Geelong one. There was another one earlier as well. I think he got 2 votes, and I was like, Okay.
Okay.
No worries.
Yeah.
All good. The other one as well is that the red carpet is just fixed.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Like,
I've never been a big red carpet guy. Like I love the camp, but I've never been a big fan of the whole free stuff.
yeah, like I think if you're gonna have an emphasis on it, I think um I would put a little bit more focus into people that you don't always talk to. Like get
Yeah.
some different opinions. Just see what people are doing. We don't care what players think who's gonna win. Do
No.
you?
No, not really. What I found really interesting this year is like I took a little bit more of a vested interest, and I actually really enjoyed. They put Darcy Moore on camera with his new partner, who's a Triple J presenter, and she knows nothing about football, and said it on the broadcast. Like said, I only started watching because I'm dating him. Like she's like still trying to work her way around it, kind of thing. And I found that really funny that like they interview her, and they're like, "Oh, how proud of you? How proud of him are you?" And she's like, "Yeah, okay."
It's done
I
well.
don't know. I just found
Not
that really
bad.
interesting that like they asked her because it was like, yeah, like this is good because you get like that you get a outsider's perspective on it kind of thing. And it was just yeah, it was very entertaining.
Yeah, you speak about entertaining, and I love that. Like people not knowing what football is and still attending. Like
Mm.
it's very, very funny. The other thing that was very funny is the fact that I think this year there was a lot more players letting their hair down a little bit, and it was led by Dan Houston.
Oh, Dan Houston. That was funny. What? Oh, that video.
I have watched that video about 400 times.
So funny. You just know he went being like, I'm gonna drink this first try.
What led me to think that he's going to absolutely get blinded to Brownlow is his date was Trent McKenzie,
So good.
the cannon.
So good. So I love when players bring other players. Rowan Marshall did the same thing. He brought Ben Patton, and I'm like, that's just really funny to me. Like I
Ben
just love
Patton.
it. It's just a really funny, like it's just it's the best dynamic, just being like, yeah, I'll just bring one of the boys. Like, so,
I can't. Yeah, like, honey, you're staying home. Oh, mate,
I'm
Benny
taking
Patton's coming.
taking Ben with me. Like it's just it's so good. And then like my favorite thing was like that players letting their hair down. I loved seeing the reactions of people on the tables when votes came out. So
Yes.
like I said, when Andrew Phillips got the three, it cuts to Nick Martin and he's like, it's like, how the fuck? He's like, flip. And then
Flipper
like
got three.
and then it goes to when Amadi gets three and the whole city table's like,
I
it was just
love
so
when
funny.
I love when people that didn't attend the Brownlow get votes, like three, because everyone
You're
on the
like,
table
wow,
was just looking. I'm sorry, what?
the fuck is he?
I'm sorry, why?
Why?
I think the
So
best
good.
one of that was when Golden got one vote in the last round. You all you hear is shit.
Everyone's just like, fuck. I could hear you heard three separate times someone be like, yeah, 42 and 2. You can hear people saying it around the camera.
I loved it so
Oh,
much.
the Sydney boys look like they were having a blast. They would be an unreal team to have a beer with, I reckon. They looked like they were having so much fun.
Yeah, no, I rate that. I reckon.
Oh,
I think even the Freo table.
yeah,
I reckon that'd be a good
absolutely.
one. Like when I
They
heard
would
A
have fun.
Brayshaw and A Brayshaw.
I was just about to say that was one of my favorite, like, just non like anything moments. Is just when they went Melbourne, A Brayshaw, Fremantle, A Brayshaw, and they were just like, oh, how about
Oh yeah, I forgot there's two Brayshaws.
that? That's very funny. I loved it though. It was good fun. Good fun,
It
Brownlow.
was one of the better Brownlows, I reckon. Not too long. I didn't think it went as long as people were complaining, like, oh, it goes
No,
for 3 hours. But like for what you had to do,
yeah.
and for it to finish by, I think it was 10:15 normal time. Um, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, no, I compared to like AFL, like the AFL Awards, like the PA ones, which just we're not going to get onto it because we've done it before and it's just fucking awful.
Oh, it's all right.
But like I like the Brownlow because at least it gives you entertainment the entire way through. Like you get things each time. Like the actual vote counting is exciting and it's fun and stuff. Whereas with the AFLPA, it's just like you can fit a whole episode of 360 in the middle of it, and you're like, oh, please no,
40 minutes without a vote or an
please
award.
God no. I know,
Don't.
but Brownlow night, like I've said it before, is one of my favorite nights on the footy calendar, and didn't disappoint again. I don't think.
Yeah, congratulations, Lockie Neal.
Yeah. How about that? Beat out, my boy Gordon and Bonch and
Butters
who stormed late.
should have
Stormed
won
back
it.
late. So,
Just like by my calculations,
could have got back.
just
Could have
saying,
got there.
should be. Anyway, the medal should be at Alberton, but whatever.
Whatever.
It's fine. Hey, who would you take to the Brownlow? If
Ooh.
a player, like we talk about Houston and Mackenzie and Marshall and Patton. Like if you were there and you had to take someone, who'd be the one?
Who do I reckon would be like a fun player that would like really just make the night like interesting? Oh, if Ginnivan didn't get an invite, he'd be fun. Guinea would be fun to just bring around because he'd just start having a good time.
He would probably end up making it seem like he brought you.
Yeah, yeah. Billy, this is my date.
This is Jared.
It'd be yours. Do you reckon yours is? Fucking yes.
Don't assume. But yeah.
Does his name start with T and end with Ravis Boat?
Okey pokey. Don't break my heart. My okey pokey heart. Yeah, but like he's saying, it was a bit weird, like him not being there, to be honest. But no, he's been to enough. I would take, and I would really just love to really just grind some people's gears with this. I would absolutely bring Fev.
Just to see what he'd do again. Just to be like, yeah, this will be good.
Imagine a current player bringing a former player.
That would actually be. I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were gonna say Wayne Carey. I was gonna be like, whoa.
I bring Wayne Carey. You bring Anthony Stevens.
Jesus Christ. Oh boy.
Yeah, don't think they'll be going to the Sydney table. Have a beer.
No, I was gonna say Wayne Carey hasn't exactly got a good relationship with Crown Casinos right now.
No.
So maybe you wouldn't get let in. So don't even try it, Regan.
I mean, do any of us? Let's be honest.
They like us because we give them all of our money. But
Oh yeah, like when people ask me, do you support a charity? Yeah.
James Packer.
Gamble responsibly.
Don't.
Actually, anything that we just said, don't even. Anyway, I think there was a grand final on.
No, I don't think so.
So trad period's coming up.
Right, whatever. That's grand final, I suppose.
So we might as well get into it. Otherwise, we'll end up doing this for an hour and a half, and we've said every week for the last month.
We've refused to not do that this time.
We've said that we're not going to an hour and a half.
No.
If we end up at an hour and a half, blame Jared. So 90 to 86. It's very, very funny to me. Now, I'll get this out of the way before we get into the stats and shit. That a team wins a grand final with them aiming at goalposts that are wrong.
They did the thing.
The picture out. They did it, and they still won. That is just a slap in the face. Yeah.
That's a direct like hate at you. That's like you know what? You've been giving us shit all year. You've been giving the inaccurate kicking shit all year, and they're like, we're just gonna win a grand final with it. That's why not?
Genuinely, it was and I think Collingwood yesterday slapped a few people in the face with opinions and everything that's been said over the year. So for me to get one, it's just a little. I haven't knocked his. To go and win a grand. Bo McCreary literally kicked 3 points. And I swear every time he looked at the camera directly into my eyes and just said,
so that's for you.
Get stuffed. But yeah, what a game. This is one of the better grand finals we've had, in all seriousness. Led by, as we said, some of the best entertainment. It was just an atmosphere that I think, especially early on, that was like Brisbane took 5-10 minutes to settle in. And I was like, this crowd is going to get Collingwood 4 or 5 goals up, and this is just not going to be the end. But Dacos kicking first, Bobby Hill, who eventually kicked like 400. Unreal.
I like you said, the start of this game was so entertaining to me, and it was led by probably two of the best players on the ground in Bobby Hill, obviously, who was an All-Smith medalist, and then for Brisbane, Zach Bailey. The two of them together, like that goal that Zach Bailey kicked, where he smothered Cox, was on the ground, Danaher gets the ball back to him, keeps it in bounds, runs around snap. I was like, holy shit.
I lost the plot.
I think that was when I knew this game was going to be as good as it was in the end. I was like, this game is going to fucking be real, real good. And like, it's going to be like that all day. And it was just, like Zach Bailey's first quarter, I was like, holy shit, like he's playing a game of football.
When people started saying like, "Oh," I think a few people tipped Bailey to win the Norm Smith, and I was like, he's kind of that player that have a one good quarter and then just die out a bit. But his whole game was great, I thought.
It was, yeah, pressure was amazing.
But that goal, I've been seeing some things around where it's been saying, "Oh, it's one of the best, if not the best, grand final goal ever." And I tend to not the best. I think there's a lot you can argue for, but it is one of the best grand final goals ever. Considering for a losing team, boy, did I celebrate.
Like it was it was very reminiscent of that De Goey one in 2018, but I think it was a little bit better. And like you said that too as well, being like it's better. I think it's better as well in terms of the fact that he also smothered the ball first to get into that kind of whole thing. I think it's just like better, but it's that same kind of vibe where it's just pulls it out of your ass. It's not happening any other game except for the grand final. That's the only time you're ever going to kick one of those. And it was just like, and the crowd getting up behind it. Oh man, it was, yeah, it was special. And like my my whole like the whole people I was at, like my sister's Collingwood and she had a lot of Collingwood friends over. And even they were just like, fuck. It's like, no.
That is
It
so
was,
good.
yeah, unbelievable.
I think just that whole first quarter set the tone. De Goey's after the siren goal at quarter time, rolls in, and Brisbane have a Brisbane second quarter. Like they just,
Yeah.
I love when Brisbane get on a roll. Like it's just so fun. Like I
The
just
energy.
watching them just overlapping. Like
Yeah.
Collingwood look 16th. That's what the type of team they look like once. And Brisbane make that with everyone. Like they were just running over the top and overlapping handballs. Charlie Cameron got into the game, which just lifted it to 11 out of 10.
Oh yeah.
Like it was
100%.
just, might go watch it back.
Yeah, that second quarter was amazing. Like when Brisbane can get that energy from the crowd, and like when Charlie Cameron kicks goals, they get a lot of energy and a lot of like, let's do this kind of thing. And they look so good when they got that energy. And they just keep running on top. But then, you're like credit to Collingwood as well. They were very good Collingwood at like stopping what they could. Like they made sure that yes, Brisbane were running over the top, and any other team they could have let it blown out. Like, but they managed to hold themselves. They didn't do necessarily on the scoreboard, but they kind of kept Brisbane back a little bit and just said, right, we'll stay in this game. Like we can do it. They kicked the goal at halftime siren again. Like they just made sure that the end of their quarter, Collingwood, that they were still at an even enough pace to be like, we are still in this game, we're still in this hunt kind of thing. And that's what they've been doing all year. And fucking, yeah, good football.
I want to make a point because I've noticed this quite a bit and teams don't do it enough. I think Collingwood kicked about 3 or 4 goals yesterday from outside 50 or on 50. They took their chances, they backed themselves in. Teams don't do that enough. De Goey's after the siren, side bottom sealer. De Goey's in the last quarter put it back in front. I think there was a Jack Chris as well.
Yeah.
Like, these are the kind of moments where they know they're a team without a tall forward that's going to be prominent in the game. Myercheck was a bit quiet. Cox wasn't, wasn't at his best in terms of inside 50 work, but they just knew that if they had an opportunity or half a sniff, they're just going to take it. They have some big kicks in their team. And I wish teams did that more. Like, kick a goal from 50.
Yeah,
Like, you
100%.
can kick
Like,
the distance.
that's what I think Melbourne can learn from, in that their forward line doesn't have to be amazing. And like Collingwood know that their midfielders can kick goals. De Goey kicks goals, and he used to do it a lot when he was just a pure forward. Nick Dacos kicks goals, and he does it from halfback as well. Their wingers can kick goals. Like Bo McCree kicked 3 points, but like he's having those kind of shots, when Taylor Adams is in there, he kicks goals from the midfield. They know that they have goal kicking midfielders, and that becomes so important when you have the forward line like that isn't always up to it kind of thing. And Melbourne can learn from that. You put Petrarca in the midfield, you know he's going to be able to kick goals. So let him just kick them. Like let him just go from 50 each time, and you can trust him. Like kick it to him on the 50 mark and let him go back and have a shot. When to go kick that one, I was like, I don't think he's got it in him, and he just backed himself and said, "I'll do it," and just
Yeah.
fucking sailed it, and it was like hot. Like it's just hot football.
DeGoey kicking those two, Crisp kicking the two. And then when they went inside 50, they had one man who eventually was the Norm Smith medalist, Bobby Hill, who kicked four. Like, I thought he was going to kick eight at one stage. Like he was
Yeah.
just
Oh, he
on.
looked like he was gonna. He looked like he was gonna tear the game apart. He kicked 2 points in the last half that were both pretty gettable. Like they were both shots that like he definitely could have kicked. But it was the fact that just his work and like his pressure and his like field kicking as well. Oh man, he was making Starcevich look pretty second rate. Like he was
I didn't think he
making
had
it
an
look hard.
opponent. I swear
Nah,
he
he
didn't have an
was
opponent.
by himself for 95% of the game.
Like, I swear he just ended up being on his own half the time. When they were transitioning, you could just see him just running on his own, like going
Yeah.
for a Sunday jog. No one was chasing after him. Like it was just surreal when he kicked a couple of snags. He shared them off as well. Gave one to Pendlebury, which was very wholesome.
Very
Loved that
nice.
moment.
And we
And
love pedals here, so that was very nice for us.
yeah, I need to find a photo of him holding the cup. Because
Wow.
Scotty
Sweet.
Pendlebury. Eh. And like it was good to see like side bottom Pendles or the old foe getting in. There's one in particular person, just one on the winning team. I, you play as a team sport. Everyone will get recognised if your team wins. Like you're on the team list, you're gonna get a medal. Congratulations. But if tomorrow Billy Frampton put his medal on Marketplace, he would have to pay someone to give it because no one is auctioning that. It is the worst grand final performance since Alistair Lynch in 2004. That is the worst grand final performance by a winning player since Cam Mooney in 1999. Billy,
Oh,
Billy, Billy, you won't make the A grade team next year. But fair play.
I
He's gone through both South Australian teams, flipped off Norwood supporters in the Samful finals last year, travelled away across, been given an opportunity, and he took it. He got his grasp this week, played on Harris Andrews. Harris Andrews literally was giving him a bath.
yeah, especially that
But
second half. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was raining for Billy's game because he couldn't clunk anything. But what I'm not trying to make a point is, regardless of how you perform grand final day, if your team wins, then you're going to be walking around at 4 a.m. with your medal around your neck. Like it's
100%.
pretty weird how some things work out.
I like another thing I was wrong about is that I thought Ginnivan was going to be like a really big player in this. And he didn't really do anything, which is fine because Bobby Hill had his moment to shine and whatever. But again, that's another thing where it's just like you can play as bad as you want, but if your team wins, I mean, you get it's the same as everything else. And then Billy Frampton, there's there's just like this thing like the white mamba in basketball where we got a minute of game time for the Celtics, and he said in 10 years he'll say he was like the sixth man. In 15 years he'll say he started every game, and in 30 years he'll tell his kids that he was the Finals MVP. Right? Billy Frampton right now knows that he had two touches. 5 years he'll say he put down a really good lockdown roll on Harris Andrews, and he did for a quarter maybe. In 15 years, I don't know what I said before. 15 years, he's going to say that he was the best backman of the day. And then
Uh,
in 25 years, it'll be he was Rob for Norm. like, he doesn't care. He's got the medal. That's all that matters. And good on him. I mean,
People will say
yeah.
we're salty or whatever. Like I really don't care. Like whoever wins on the
No,
day, so be it. Couldn't give two shits. It is just very funny to me that players like Frampton, players like Ginnivan, you just know they're going to go out and just bit of this, and I'm all for it. Like you've won a flag, good
absolutely.
on you, go around. But
Right.
like, and Ginnivan was at the races Friday night.
Yeah.
Fly,
Okay.
Fly had a baby
Had a
Saturday
baby.
morning.
Yeah.
So the contrast between your coach having a baby Saturday morning and one of your players at the races the night before your grand final. Pinsky's sitting as the sub thinking he might not even get on. And you've got the bloke you've brought into the team to go to the races on the Friday night.
I think I think it's okay as long as he wasn't drinking beers and whatever. Like it's just, like going on mates, whatever. But it was just like it's a very weird thing to do without any like sort of prior like
Well,
announcement of it.
let me put
Like
it this way for you, Jared. I look at this contrast. Friday night. Brody Myercheck is on the telethon,
oh yes.
interviewing,
Yeah.
about to make pasta with his lovely missus, and he's talking about promoting and making sure that there's money raised on the night. Even giddy up.
Oh boy. Did you see? That actually reminds me. Robbie Fox, as in Sydney's Robbie Fox. Did you see that photo? So he is really close mates with Myercheck, and he was in the crowd with a Collingwood jumper on.
No, not really.
Yeah. So he was like, there's a photo of him, like an official AFL photo. Robbie Fox posted it, and he is in the crowd, Collingwood jumper on. Now, like, I get he was there supporting his mate. That's fine. Don't have to wear a Collingwood jumper though. Wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, well, I know that's right because I think Riley O'Brien and one of the other Crows boys was with Billy Frampton, and I saw a post, and they were dressed nicely, not wearing any Collingwood gear.
No.
So Robbie Fox, it's quite funny. I'll give it to him. I don't think Sydney will be happy, but it also starts a bit of the old trade radio business.
Yeah, and also Sydney aren't exactly having a good week currently
No.
after Callum Mills decided that he was gonna have a bit of a wrestle, and now he's missing
Swanton
by
bomb.
Oh, Sydney's had a horrible week. Errol Gordon gets robbed of the Brownlow. Callum Mills does his shoulder and he's out for the start of the year, and then their own player is wearing a Collingwood jumper. Rough.
Interesting sort of thing going on for the Swans. And Buddy wasn't there for the retirees motorcade as well.
Yeah, that's
So
sad.
it's all a bit negative for them.
Yeah, poor week for a Swan.
They're not really good at grand final weeks at the moment, are they?
No, they struggle a little bit.
Touchy subject.
A
Poke the
nerve.
bear. Should have been 119 last year. Anyway, also Mason Cox is a premiership player. I'm going to run through some names actually and let you know about some names that you just think really they're premiership players.
Yeah, absolutely.
Will Hoskin Elliott. Right. Oleg Markov. Right.
There's a lot of these, aren't there?
Mason Cox. Billy Frampton. Obviously Jack Ginnivan. There was another one as well that I really wanted to point it out because I thought it was very, very funny. Maybe that was it. I like him.
I like him too. Like I like a lot of those guys. I don't necessarily think they're all amazing footballers, but I like them. I even like Mason Cox, to be completely
Darcy
honest with you.
Cameron is another one as well.
Yeah, that's fair. Like those guys. Like I like Mason Cox. I don't like Frampton really, but like Mason Cox, I appreciate the fact that he brings a lot of vibes to the game. He brings a lot of just
Don't.
and I like when teams actually genuinely hate each other. Like I'm a big fan of spiteful contests and stuff like that, and he always makes it that. So I'm like, you're okay, Mason. I think you're all right.
I don't particularly like what he does after a goal because that
Hmm.
just makes me want to jump into the TV and I don't know, become Rocky. But anyway, I did like when he missed yesterday. I think it was Dunkley on the mark, and he went up to him and gave him a bit of
Did the opposite thing. Yeah,
cold pie.
absolutely.
I thought that was very funny. But I was going to say something. I've completely forgotten it now because we're talking about obscure Premiership players. Because they're all going to be trivia questions in about 15 years'
I was
time.
gonna say there's gonna be when a footy grid comes up in however many years' time, and it's like Collingwood Premiership player, and you're gonna be like, Ulrich Markov.
Billy
Like,
Frampton.
you'll be like, I think Markov, he's gonna be a fucking one of those guys. Like just a real niche areas.
So funny to me. One bloke that does deserve a mention, Nathan Murphy. Did you see that he
Yes.
obviously got subbed out and it was pretty sad and he was very upset, but he actually removed himself. Like he passed the test, but he actually said
Yeah.
that he doesn't want to go back on. And I was just like, you are arguably one of the most important people on that ground with the two big key forwards that Brisbane have. Although Eric Hipwood was basically just fluff and wind.
Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing.
That's basically what Hipwood was. But like the selflessness to be subbed out, become a premiership player. Like you had your part, you played your part, and I think you'll be remembered. You don't have to be remembered for your performance on the day because Billy Frampton won't be. But like for you to go upstage, premiership medal, you pass your test, most selfless act you can do. Like that's pretty cool to be remembered by.
Yeah, and there's a photo of his face in like the big team photo, and his face is pretty fucked up now. Like he copped a real good knock, and one of his eyes is like severely swollen. So I think it's probably for the best he didn't come back on. But and like I think he deserves to get this medal that he won. And I mean, like obviously if the Lions had ended up winning, there becomes a big thing about it, and like what would have happened if Murphy could have kept playing, kind of thing, and it becomes whatever. But it didn't. So premiership player and guys did it.
Daniel Rich won the longest kick, and Brisbane didn't win the game. I think he could have played.
Put him out there instead of who played here? Callum
Well,
Archie
to
did
be
nothing, so he got subbed off.
yeah, that's true. He could have been the sub over Jared Lyons. I did obviously like Coleman was fantastic again. Like might be one of my favourite players outside of Port Adelaide at the moment.
Sure.
Um, yeah, I thought I just watching him. I think I tweeted about it, but like watching him kick a footy, it's gonna miss it.
It's so appealing. He's just so aesthetically pleasing.
Like that saying, aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, like it's just good to
Rolls off the
watch.
tongue well.
Yeah, just a good
Aesthetically
player to
pleasing.
watch.
Yeah.
Just if Fev put a bomb in there as well. He can still kick
And
it
then he
65.
threw himself in. How's Gozza? Dan Gorringe dressed up as Kiss.
Oh my God. That is insane. I like that though.
Yeah, I did. I really enjoyed that.
He's
Like that
very
a
good.
lot.
He's a funny man, and like seeing that because I think I missed the actual thing on the broadcast. So then I watched it on Twitter after, and I just thought because I had the video playing with no volume, and I just thought they just found a Kiss fan,
Yeah.
and then I heard the voice, and I was like, ah, it's like I get it now.
I thought Kiss were actually at the longest kick for a second.
Gene
Like I
Simmons
saw
had to fucking load up.
would have kicked it longer than a couple of them, that's for sure.
Dan
How
Gorish
far could
one.
you how far could you get it, you reckon?
I know I'd fuck it up. I'm so
Yeah.
I'm so adamant that I would fucking go like
Would you
40.
try and go for length or aim for Dicko on the boat?
Just see what I can get. It depends how far out he is, I suppose. I don't even know if I'd go a barrel because I don't trust my barrel. So
I don't trust.
I just
That is a
drop punt
tumble
that
punt.
thing. Yeah.
Hope for some wind.
Oh, 100%.
Kick. Also, the sprint happened. And I'm getting through these pretty quickly because we, as I said, want to keep this shorter. How much would I have to pay to see you in those red tights?
I was thinking about that. I was like, do you
Well, how much I'd pay you?
I was thinking about the red tights. And I was like, that is an insane thing to make them do. Like, that's a weird thing to make them wear.
It's
It's
cold
like,
too.
it's so weird. They used to be yellow, I'm pretty sure. I think it used
I
to be
like the yellow ones.
warehouse sprint and they were yellow. I don't know. But it was really funny. It's just, oh, so good.
Just that we talk about aesthetically pleasing. That's not.
Absolutely. Especially with like Max Holmes, obviously the eventual winner. Like the blue and white hoops and then the red tights. It's just,
Oh,
what is happening?
that is my stupid, sexy Max Holmes. Thank you.
But he's quick.
To
Fucking
be,
quick football, right?
well, I hope he's not that quick.
Oh, we've gone early.
We have gone early.
Oh boy.
really have something funny to say, but I don't think it's. I don't think it'd be
Save it for 10 minutes when we're on to the actual section.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, do you want to go around the glass table?
Let's go around the glass table. We have two this week.
We
Kind of.
do, and I think which one do we want to do first?
Let's do. I don't know. Let's just do the music one because it's the one that I'm about to find.
Oh, I found it. All
Yeah.
right, so we asked the question: is Kiss about to be the next Meatloaf or the Killers? I think they were better than both.
I think they're better than
Well,
the Killers.
clearly
Absolutely.
better than Meatloaf.
Clearly
That's
better
for
than
fucking
Meatloaf.
sure.
Absolutely.
My alarm in the morning's better than Meatloaf. So we asked who would be your dream AFL Grand Final entertainment, and you said,
Big time rush.
do you remember how before I said I spoke about how like 70-year-olds just eventually appealed to everyone in the end? Probably not with Big Time Rush.
Big time rush is very niche, but I would enjoy it a lot, and I would be that guy in the Kiss jacket up the front. But I would be going big time. I just love him. It's so good.
The TV show is fantastic.
Mm, absolutely.
Um,
And you said,
Fall Out Boy. And after yesterday, and I see them do it a fair bit in like America. I genuinely think, like, and I'd bias this aside as well because obviously they're my favorite band, but I reckon they have the songs for it,
yeah, 100%.
and I can just picture them on a stage like Kiss had, Patrick Stump and Jill Fedora, just belting out centuries.
I was
Like
gonna
it's just
say, like you said in that tweet, centuries would go fucking off. And then if they did the post game, I'm getting like Killers flashbacks, and it's thanks for the memories, and someone comes on and sings thanks for the memories with them. Like that is the perfect post grand final song.
they're doing thanks for the memories, and I picture Port winning it. And you know who'd be up
Mm,
there? Fucking Dan Houston.
absolutely would be.
Dan
Already
Houston
six
is
beers deep.
yeah, but he's sculling another flute. Just starts licking the microphone. Houston, we have no problem. Thanks for the memories. I could pick their 5 songs they would do.
Centuries.
My songs only did in the dark.
Yep.
This ain't a
Thanks for
scene.
the memories.
Thanks for the memories. And I obviously have to do a new one, so up from the other side.
That's fair. I was gonna say like Uma Thurman. Uma Thurman's good too, but either
Maybe they just do a full concert and just delay the game.
just do it. Fuck the footy. It's fine.
We're all there. I'm just there. This is a
What else
concert for me.
we had One Direction, obviously. The reunion, the reunion at a grand final would be insane.
I think the concept would be insane. The songs and the
Yeah, I was gonna
choice.
say, what would they pick? I don't know what they'd pick.
Best song
But
ever.
yeah, then it gets
So not to
then the rest just get then the rest just get
You
all like not
don't
footy.
know beautiful. Um,
I don't
that's it.
know. Yeah,
Might,
there's a few
might
people
go
that
through their discography.
there's a few people that just were just like Kiss will be good, just you wait and see. I was like, okay, I didn't fucking say they wouldn't be. I was just
I like
it was
Marty
insane.
Holden's. They will put a
Yeah.
shoe and a half on. You watch. Because I'm pretty sure Kiss had really, really large shoes on.
Yeah. What happened to the other half of the shoe? I don't know, man.
Put into one.
Oh,
Who cares? It's a 15-minute gig.
you're fun at parties.
Oh, you've just slugged Slugger.
Sorry, mate. Paletti said Eminem. I would love that, obviously. That would be incredible, but you would have to pay
I'm
him.
Slim Shady, son, real
You
Shady on the other Slim
imagine
Shady.
how much money they would have to pay that man to do this. Just-
Yeah, well, what would you rather? Fix the game or Eminem?
You either
What's the
have an okay
alternative?
game or you have Eminem for 1 year.
I love how they've got so much money, like when it comes to entertainment, and they like to pick about 10 different artists that are just
Mm.
low key rather than investing in one big one.
Just pick like one massive artist at a time. Like the fact that Ed Sheeran did it is insane to me because he did it when he wasn't as big. They kind of got onto it early.
Mm.
And then they had him, and then he went real
Mm.
big, and they were like, they couldn't get him now. But the fact that
Mm.
they had him at the time, it's like, good work, AFL.
I love
Go
how
ahead.
you look at um how they pick some of these people and they've done MCG arena shows and stuff where they've filled it out 110,000 people and stuff. Like Eminem, obviously we know Ed Sheeran did it, but like Eminem did it a few years back. I think he had the
Mm.
record at that time for the
Yeah, it's
biggest
still the
crowd
biggest
ever.
show. Still the biggest show for him ever, which was like 80 something thousand. It's
I
like
was there.
I'm
Just
still there.
I'm Slim Shady, so I'm the real Shady. You're
It
the other Slim.
was very good.
Was when did we become a music podcast?
No. That's all I've got for these though. That's enough for my
I'll do one
games.
more because I really like this one. I think this would also it probably gives off same Fall Out Boy kind of vibes. Foo Fighters.
Mm. Yeah, fuck, that would be good.
Mills has done well there. Foo Fighters. They've
Yeah.
not. I don't think they've done it.
No.
Um, I think that'd be really good, and I think the AFL should get onto it early
Yeah.
next year. Look at because tours will be announced in February and stuff like. Look at what you can nail.
Yeah. See if there's a little gap anywhere that someone can like fill it in kind of thing and just like, you know, hopefully by then, like I'm trying to think what's on next year, but I don't even know.
I love how like Crowded House pulled out for Kiss, and now Crowded House will be remembered in everyone's minds, not for their music, but for pulling out of the
Good point out of the
AFL
grand
entertainment.
final.
Thank you.
Ended
I
up working
was
pretty well.
made for loving you, baby.
And then our other one that we put up, which is what is your favorite grand final moment of all time? Now, for this one, I picked the Heath Short Smother, and I can assure you it is not my favorite. It
I thought it was a bit weird by you.
was a Collingwood game, man. I had to pick it. Let's do something.
Why wouldn't you just do like, nah, fair,
Yeah.
nah, right that.
Yeah.
What was yours?
Well, we have decided we've selected three,
Oh
each
yes,
of
true.
our
We'll do that in the end.
favorite grand finals. I was going to say, so let's go. We'll go through this one first. Tories is a one that I kind of want to mention a little bit later. It's the Jeremy Cameron celebration from last year. Oh my God. That is the best celebration that's ever happened in football ever, I think. Like straight arming it too. He opens it and then just straight arms it.
Yeah,
Tremendous.
Jezza would be a straight armor.
Oh, he's good. And the fact that like he played well, he's just a great bloke. The videos
Mm.
that came afterwards, just the best.
I love it. I think it's hot.
Uh,
I think a couple of people have mentioned Jason Ackermanis. I thought obviously
yeah.
Brando mentioned it with the clip.
Mhm.
Same as the Hodgman as well, the Ackermanis goal. That was the match winner in 0-2. Still get chills. Complemented perfectly by one of the greats in Stephen Quartermain commentary. Um, there's quite a few variances actually.
Yeah, well, there's Chris Williams, which is the Dom Sheed goal, which is very fair enough, one of the great goals of all time. But another one that is like West Coast related, but it's actually the opposite. And this is when you said the Zach Bailey goal was one of the best goals in grand final history, this is the one that popped into my mind, and it's the Luke Hodge banana
Oh
early
yeah,
in that West Coast grand final. Before the game, it might have even been blown out by that point. But he just gets the handball and just standing start, fucking check side that goes post height. And I'm like, yeah. Like, I remember that goal and I was like, holy shit, that was a fucking good goal.
perfect bender.
Yeah. Like that is lives in my mind as that's the only thing I can remember from that game, other than Jack Darling dropping that chest mark on goal. They're the
Oh,
only two things I remember from that game. Because the rest of it
Brian
was
Lake smother on um
was it the year on the norm?
yeah
Yeah.
Hill.
Yes.
What's
Yeah.
his name? What's his first name? I don't know. It was a
That's fine.
Hill.
Yeah.
Bobby Hill was a better Hill. on grand
Absolutely.
final day. Renee said Mark Williams with the tie and saying Alan Scott, you were wrong. That was one I tweeted because it is just, we talk about how teams are iconic. We talk about how premierships are iconic. Well, obviously this is Port Adelaide's premiership one, but it is Mark Williams's moment. Like, he comes down the race with the tie, just absolutely sticking it to everyone, and then points to the fucking stands and says, Alan Scott, you were wrong. Like, that is just alpha.
Yeah.
We don't see that enough these days, these alpha moves of the coaches just saying, haha, sucked in.
Eat shit.
Yeah. Eat
No,
shit. Would
what
love to
I
see that said.
what I really wished Ginnivan did, and because it reminds me of I wish they still did like what Croft did, in '08. That's what I'm talking about. But like, I really wished Ginnivan got on the mic and did the light work. Like, I wish he just went up and just went light work
Oh,
and then just kept going.
he
Because
did it on radio.
yeah, and he did it. He posted on Instagram on his story just light work with the medal, and I'm like, fuck, like that's some good shit. Like, really, really good.
Love it. I think it's
Mm.
great. But actually, before we get in the top three,
Mm.
them taking the microphone away from the players over the last few years has been really, really disappointing.
Yeah, boo. Let them do what they
Like,
want.
I remember back to, like, obviously Shane Crawford,
Mm.
Toby Thurston's cat dog, which is just weird. But like, for the players walking past the microphone
Let them
and
have some
saying "you
fun.
beauty," like, that's cool.
Let them do it. Like,
Bring it
they're
back.
excited. Like, yeah, 100%. And like the Croft thing, like that's what I'm talking about. Gets replayed constantly. Like, that is
Mhm.
a constant thing that gets done over and over again. You can't have that anymore with the mics gone. So like, bring it back. Like, let them have fun on the stage.
Yeah.
And, it's their
They're
moment.
more than happy to run around with Abby Holmes and Richo on the boundary and
Yeah.
get them out there within 30 seconds.
Mm.
But like, we don't get to hear true emotion. And
Yeah.
I
Let
want that.
them just let them do whatever they want. Let them just
That's
scream.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Like,
What
unreal.
what what would you say on the mic?
I already know I'd stumble my way through whatever I was trying to say. Like, I'd be like, come on, boys. I'd be like, it's boys.
Yeah.
I just know it's stuffing up.
I'd say subscribe to the pair.
I was literally just about to say, you just walk up to the mic and just go, subscribe to the pants.
I'd be like Devin Robertson, just watching my subscriber count go up, but just like his Instagram followers.
Oh,
Very
that's
good.
funny. Okay,
Top three moments.
top three. All right. Can we
We'll
go
do
first?
three,
Or do you
two,
want me to go
one,
first?
or we're gonna do 3-3, 2-2, 1-1.
Let's go 3-3-2-2.
Okay.
Okay. I have an honorable mention though. I'm not sure if you do as well. But my
Yep.
honorable mention is the last 10 minutes of the 2021 third quarter. D's Dogs. That demolition job that the D's did on the Dogs was so unbelievable to watch. Like the track goal, the Oliver goal, just like the constant. It's like it lives in my brain because I'm just like, it was the best 5 minute span of football I've watched in so long, just because they were unbelievable. So that's like my honorable mention because it was like a moment in time where I was like, yeah,
Yeah. I rate
unbelievable.
that. Mine's Marlon Pickett, first goal in footy,
Yep,
first game, grand final.
yep,
For me, like, that being an honorable mention is simply because I was actually there and like to see it
yeah,
live
that's
and to
fair.
hear that crowd. Oh,
I was gonna say like
goosebumps.
the spin move when he drops a spin move early in the game. I
Oh,
remember that, and I was like, "Holy shit!" It's like,
mate,
"Oh
you're
my
in your
god!"
business.
I remember that being like a real cool thing as well. So yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
Cool. Number
All right,
three for you.
three for me. Now I kind of half mentioned it. Like I was kind of tied in like the one game with the Cameron celebration, but for me, the Joel Selwood check side from like 45, getting tackled as he kicks it, the whole like surrounding thing of it. One, it's a fucking unbelievable goal. Two, it's like the celebration afterwards, where he puts his hands in his head and they lift him up and everyone like swarms him and stuff. And then the fact that he retired, I'm like, that is a real cool moment. And like, I don't like Geelong, but I really like that moment because it's
Yeah.
just like, it was so nice to see. And like, they were having fun, Geelong. By that point, they were just like, let's enjoy this. Like, we know we've won it. Let's have some fun. And that was like, just so cool to watch because I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
I rate that.
Yeah.
My number 3 is Alistair Lynch versus Darryl Wakeland. Goal square, 2004. The box on. If you looked at
45 punches thrown, who connected?
yeah, pretty sure Darryl Wakeland literally connected one and aired everything else.
Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure Lynch did the same.
Yeah, like it was
Just
just,
did nothing. Oh,
it literally
so
looked like two blokes having a go. At the boxing thing, you know, you do at arcades. They're just throwing.
it was so funny. I love that. That's a really good one.
Because the best part about it as well, and being a Port fan, is he has no touches. Like
Yeah.
he couldn't even connect a punch that day. That's how bad his game was.
Yeah.
So for him to retire after that, I think, and then not have a touch in a granny is amusing to me.
So good. The fact that he works in media now is very funny to me. Just
Yeah,
after
it
all that,
is.
it's so good. Um, my two, and this is almost purely made because of the commentary surrounding it, is Tom Boyd's goal.
Yeah,
So the fact that it starts though with the tackle by Morris on Buddy, one of the great tackles to like stop the Swans counter attack kind of thing. Boyd then picks it up, and of course we know it, and it gets replayed every single grand final. But the Boyd's kick the goal, Boyd's kick the goal. Obviously, it's not on Channel 7 because couldn't. But like that is the best just piece of just unbelievable commentary in like that little play. Um, Fucking love it. And then yeah, good goal, and obviously the Dogs ended up winning. So it was just everything about it's amazing to me.
yeah. Fuck!
Fuck.
Like I love it. Like the slip of the tongue. It's
Yeah,
just
so good.
Number 2 for me is Leo Barry.
Well, yeah, I was debating putting this in there.
Um, I'm glad we've got variances on our top threes because it means like there's a lot more covered. But
Yeah,
as I said before, it's complemented with Stephen Quartermain, Leo Barry. You start. It's a game-saving mark. Every defender dreams of taking that game-saving intercept mark. And like to see that they win their premiership, they break the drought. Paul Roos after the game on the mic, sensational.
very
And
nice.
oh, that's what I say every time I bring a round of beers to the table.
There it is.
Here it is, my round. Don't forget it. So, I think it's really cool. Like it's obviously, as we know, ended up being a good sequence, stuff like that. But yeah, Leo Barry, man. Ah,
So good, like unbelievable mark. It's like you said, it's every defender's dream to take that mark, and like every defender watches that over and over and going, I can do that. Like I can do
yeah.
it one day.
We've all practiced it on the back of the couch as well.
Oh yeah, taking over the top, like
Like,
swinging with the side.
mum's having a go at you because you're nearly breaking the couch and ruining the cushions, but you're just there taking the game-saving mark. You
Exactly.
got Stephen Quartermain in the background, like, Anthony Alessiani, you star.
It's the best. I love that one. That's a I was one I was gonna put in, but I ended up going different. And then my one, because we like to be biased because it's just what we do here.
Yeah, well,
Um,
St Kilda fans.
and I haven't got a lot of exactly happy memories of,
Do you have
Saints
a
in
do you have a
finals.
footage? Do you even have footage of 1960, whatever you run it in?
Seen the point, so it's fine. The
Okay.
point that wins the game, I've seen it, and that's all that matters. But of course, the closest we've been since is, of course, the 2010 draw and Goddard's mark because well,
Goddard! Ah!
like, the crowd going fucking ballistic. We hadn't been in front like the follow up. I think I said last week on the show or the week before was it's Bruce saying Saints Pies never been behind in this grand final. Saints never been in front until now. Like just everything about it. You see Eric Banner losing his yes, like
Yeah,
it's my favorite moment ever because I remember just being like, holy shit, like
yeah.
that's the coolest mark I've ever seen.
It's like a moment that I think every football fan that wasn't a Collingwood or St Kilda fan was just like, that could be the game-winning move.
That could be the coolest thing that's happened in a grand final. Like,
Yeah.
it could be the coolest game winning thing. And then obviously, yeah, it's just, oh,
Came back next week. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
yeah. What's your number one?
Right, I've loved this bloke ever since supporting Port and everything. And then when he obviously retired from Port, I was very, very sad because he left on terms that were just like, you're a good player, but not a great player, but you're leaving because you want to leave, you want to chase ventures outside. Stewie Jew,
Yeah.
2008. I stand by this, and I think he was robbed of the Norm Smith. That is the best piece of 5 minutes I've ever seen in anything. Anything. I'm not just talking football, anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you look at when it started, he takes that mark on the wing. He's a big, bustling bloke, and the little guy next to him can't even get around him. And then he's just barging through 3 or 4 people, setting up goals for Rioli and Williams, kicking 2 of his own from 50 in the snap after getting the handball from Buddy. It's football porn. Like, it's genuinely. Bruce, and I like to, obviously we talk about commentary complimenting moments. Bruce saying he's had the best 5 minutes of his footballing life, and that includes 04. 04, he was not bad on the day. He also kicked the sealer that day as well. Well, one of them was about 7 in the last quarter. But like for me, I will go back. If I want to watch football moments, I'll go watch Stewie G highlights, and that'll be it. Like just that 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It is so cool. And
It's
I
one
love
of
him too.
those. Yeah, it's one of those clips where every time it comes up on your Twitter timeline, you have to watch it all the way through. Otherwise, it's like you're like disappointing him. Like you're like, I have to watch it. Like
It's a chore.
It'd be unfair for me not to. Yeah.
It is. You're doing right by him by sharing it on your Twitter. I always put Stewie G highlights on my Instagram stories. Like if they pop up as suggestions or whatever, and people are like, hang on, he won a premiership for Hawthorn. I was like, I don't care. He won a premiership. Stewie G won a premiership.
Exactly. It's the best. He's
I love this. I love the story too. Like,
yeah.
Had a year off. I think it was like personal stuff. He was following his path or whatever. Alistair Clarkson calls up and goes, come to Hawthorn. Like, and then the board and the player management like, why would we want to fat Stuart Jew on our list? Loses the weight, comes in, kicks goals, big bustling. It was hot that day.
Oh yeah.
Not comfortable conditions for a bigger man. Not comfortable.
He made it. He made it his though.
Oh boy, and I reckon Stewie that night on the piss would have just been absolutely menacing.
He would have been the most like menacing. He would have been out there and they would have been like, did you see me? Did you see that 5 minutes out there? That's the best thing you'll ever see. And then he would have watched the highlights. He would have had the highlights up on the TV. Like, it would just be.
If I was a teammate, I'm kissing that left leg.
Oh yeah,
big just time. Like smooch. I'm giving that leg a hickey. Like that's how much I would get around him. But it is so good. I love Stewie Jew. Like I think he might be. We talk about Boak and Treaders, but like, just
he's up there. He's up there for sure. Oh, is it? I'm
just gonna have a moment. Jew 10. Anyway, yeah, like I think when we talk about moments and grand finals and everything, like Stewie Jew's right up there. Goddard, Alan Scott, you're wrong. Grand finals are pretty cool, man. Really cool when they win, and they're really, 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 really sexy when they end up being your way.
When you started that, I don't know if you looked up, but I'm just sitting here just like, all right, how's he going to get there?
I always notice you just admiring my little worms the way I get there.
Because I could see your gears turning. I'm like, I just want to see what comes out here because this will be good.
Someone left a review the other day. It's probably my burner account, but they said Ant's segues are really cool. Could have been me. I'm not sure.
Sleep writing. But
Ant is stupid sexy 101. Speaking of stupid sexy, grand final edition. Stupid sexy AFL players.
Stupid sexy AFL players.
Right, Jared, time to do stupid sexy AFL players. And this week, I think we're going to shock the world.
Do we?
Well, I won't say really a lot. Some might say it's lazy journalism.
Not us.
But I heard a little rumor, and it was it's just come across my desk before. I think you were here. We might have the same player.
There is a there's a slight chance.
Hmm.
Is it a player that we've mentioned already on the podcast?
Could be.
The player that happened to kick a couple pretty good goals this quarter.
Could be. Having to be discussed as someone we actually haven't had on this segment.
For
Are you
some
thinking
reason.
what I'm thinking, B1?
DK and B2.
We're talking about Zach Bailey, by the way, everyone.
Yeah, we're
Just
talking
saying.
about Zach Bailey.
Zach Bailey's our stupid, sexy AFL player of the
Zach
week.
Bailey is our joint stupid sexy. Obviously, we had to kind of narrow it down a little bit because there's only two teams, so we've got about 44 players to pick from.
I'll
And
tell you, I'm not picking Billy Frampton.
he will not get a gig. Would have put him on the coaches award, didn't know. So
Rather
it's
end the
fine.
segment than talk to him. Talk about him, I should say.
Talk about him. Well, good thing Zach Bailey is our boy. He is amazing. And like I like he's got that sort of that build where he's small but he's like stocky. He's just like he just runs around like a little bulldog.
Like a bulldog. Yeah, I like that. That's really good. I like a meatball with pace.
Oh yeah, but like sexy meatball.
Why is it the first thing that came to my mind is Lady and the Tramp? When the moon meets your eye like a big pizza pie. That's Zach
It's
Bailey.
Zach Bailey. Oh shit. Oh, he's a gorgeous man, that's Zach Bailey. And he voted again. He one of the Lions players that can hold his head high and a good looking head it is. I'm happy with
So good looking.
that.
It escaped me that we haven't had him before.
I know. There's a lot of players where I look at it, I'm like, shit, like how have we not said that? There's to be a few that were a
Still got
bit,
the list.
stiff.
Wood. Luke Bruce, your worst decision ever.
I stand by my Luke Bruce.
Right, champ.
Oh shit.
Not a bad list. We'll go through that.
No, it's good. Absolutely.
Zach Bailey, welcome to Stupid Sexy AFL Players. You stupid sexy Bailey.
The final one of the season. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are we going to do?
I don't know.
Welcome to a new segment where we live brainstorm ideas for this show.
Stupid sexy trade radio.
Oh, stupid sexy trades.
Yeah. See who gets traded around.
Hey, Hawthorne, do you remember the one you did with Chad Wingard and we got Rosie, Butters and Dersma and Burton? Took you to the cleaners, didn't we? That's all I've got.
I don't, well,
at the moment.
Saints are usually terrible with their trades, so I need to do some research.
How's Dougal Howard going?
No, Logan Austin. That's the one.
We give you very good defenders.
Yeah.
Mm.
No. Oh,
Who
well,
would you like this year? Oh, I reckon I'll give you
who's
we don't have anyone,
who
to
is
be
it?
honest.
I was going to say, who is the defender on your list that's not just like okay right now? Darcy Burn-Jones.
Like Fort.
I know, he used to be. He's a fucking all Australian halfback.
Yeah, that's another one that's going to go down into one of those trivia questions.
Well, yeah, I used him in a footy grid and I got like 2%. It was awesome.
I love that we've got hyphens. We trade in hyphens. Burn Jones, Pal Pepper. I think I mentioned this last week. Burn
Yeah,
Jones, Pal
Horn
Pepper,
Francis.
Horn Francis. We had Jasper McMillan, Pittard.
Oh, hello.
In the day. We're gonna get Brandon Zerk Thatcher.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. This is weird. Oh, love it.
Yeah. Might ask Cooper, our
What's
management.
going on? Yeah.
Anyone else lined up?
What is it about the hyphen names? They're pretty sexy. That's fun.
Mm, mm, mm. I like what that little dash does in between. Just
I'm trying to
a real,
think about who else is left.
real connector. Brings two
Who else
people
is
together.
left? Cam Ellis Yeoman. Does he still play?
Nah. Coleman Jones.
Oh yeah, Callum Coleman Jones. Nazai
Hang on.
Wanganeen-Miller.
Yeah.
He
As if
actually
he's
could go. He actually could go to Port, to be fair. He's from there, so
what are you offering?
I'd actually you'd need it. Because that'd be a big trade if you'd take him. He'll probably just wait till his contract's over and then just fuck off for nothing anyway, because everyone just does that to us. So
As deserved. I wanted to see your
great.
reaction. It was very good. Next week, before we sign off, because obviously we're done and we're just delaying like we always do. Next week we're doing Stupid Sexy Awards.
Yeah.
So we're dressing
If you
up.
guys have any nominations, I mean, we'll have some anyway. But if you have any special considerations, make sure you tweet at us some special considerations for some awards, and we will be sure to maybe accommodate you.
We're gonna be like the Brownlow.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna just
Yeah.
drag it out for 7 hours.
I was gonna say for as long as the Brownlow too.
Yeah. It's gonna be so good.
Oh, strap in everybody.
We have to do monologues.
Oh. Mate, we could have the worst monologues in the entire world and would still be better than Penny Dangerous. So it's fine.
The
We got
fact
nothing to
that he's
worry
a
about.
current player and he's an expert commentator in a grand final, shut the front door.
Horrendous. Oh well. You know what? It's fine.
Danger,
Season's over.
danger, danger.
Season's over. We
Shut
don't have
up,
to think
shut
about
up,
it
shut up.
anymore.
What if he's like on trade radio or something?
I just won't listen.
We do have that luxury, don't we?
Yeah. I don't have to listen. It's fine.
We're
Oh, that's it.
done. That's our grand final episode.
Yeah.
Now
Grand
we
final,
just
Brownlow.
want to focus on off-field stuff.
Absolutely. Let's see what Sydney does next week.
Joel
Can't wait to come
Marty,
back next week.
please.
Yeah, I can't wait to come back next week and Logan McDonald's like, I don't know.
On
Logan
a
McDonald's
boat
been
to
arrested or
Europe.
something. Yeah, that too. Any of them. Oh man. Sydney.
Chad Warner's dyed his hair red.
Oh, Jesus.
There should be one thing that should happen this week, and I'm very, very happy for. I think Boak's going to resign.
I think yes, that was the news this week is that Boak might be back and have one more. It'll be hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, happy yet.
very,
Happy
very,
next week.
very excited. Adrenaline levels are really high right now. Yeah.
Wonder what you're doing after this.
Thank you everyone for watching and listening. We're going to have a very abrupt end to this podcast now, because as Jared alluded to, podcast is going to finish and so am I.
Okay.